I think I've figured out what's caused video games to lose their magic. Playing video games as you get older feels weird. At least it does to me. For the past 5 years or so, I've spent more time learning about games or learning how to play games than actually playing them. And what's strange is I don't remember a single moment where this started. But when I look back, I can tell the enjoyment I get from video games, the way I have fun with them, has drastically changed. Now, I'm not as competitive as I used to be, and I play way more single-player games than multiplayer now. But even then, I struggle to pick one. I'll spend forever watching videos or scrolling through an endless list of games trying to decide what I want to play next. And when I finally do decide, I don't actually spend much time playing the game. So in this video, I want to talk about the wonderful hobby of video games and how it changes as you get older. Let's change the tone here a bit. I first got into video games when I was about 5 or 6 years old. My very first console, a Nintendo 64. Given to me by my grandparents, and it was bought at a flea market. I still have it, and all the games they gave me. My favorites were F-Zero X, Rush San Francisco, and Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, even though that last one was way too hard for me as a kid. It all started here. Over the years, my hobby grew. I was given a PlayStation, then a PlayStation 2, a GameCube, then a Wii, an Xbox 360, an Xbox One, and then eventually I bought myself a PlayStation 4 and then a gaming PC, and I kept upgrading from there. Oh, and I can't forget the Game Boy, DS, and 3DS I got as a kid. So many fond memories with every single one of these consoles, and for the most part, I still have all of them in my collection. When I think about it now, the peak of my gaming hobby was when I had nothing but games that were given to me. It was when I didn't have my own money and my own job to buy games myself. I had to ask for specific games, and I really had to pick carefully, because I might not get another one for a year or two. Sure, over the years I wound up with a great collection, but back then, I had to choose wisely. This era was the golden age of gaming for me. That's not to say I don't enjoy games now, but I definitely had the most fun back then. So what changed? At what point did video games stop being as fun for me? The answer to this could be endless. There are so many routes I could go down here, but after reflecting on what started my hobby versus where it is now, there's one specific thing I've realized. Video games have become less fun for me when all of them became available to me. Here's what I mean. As I got older, I had less time to play video games, and I have to lower them down on my priority list, because that's part of growing up. Responsibilities, career, life. But that's not the real problem. The problem is that now I have the money and the resources to buy pretty much any game I want. And that's a blessing, don't get me wrong, but it's also given me this analysis paralysis. Especially with things like Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, Steam sales, all these ways to instantly download hundreds of games. When I was a kid, I had to pick 1 or 2 games a year, like I said, and maybe even trade some old ones at GameStop, beg for the newest Call of Duty to my mom and dad, but now I can download 5 games in a single night and then buy another next week. And for me, it takes some of the mysticism out of gaming. But it's not just about the amount of games, it's the quality of the experience too. I don't mean the apparent and visual quality. Games today look and run better than ever, but I'm not as competitive as I used to be. In multiplayer games, they've gotten way more competitive. Even what used to be casual games like Call of Duty and most other FPS games now have skill systems designed for maximum player retention. For me, that doesn't make me want to play more. It makes me stop playing. I might play for a month, maybe a season of the game, and then I burn out because I feel like I'm not making any real progress. So multiplayer games, they've just become less fun. I don't play them with friends nearly as much as I used to. And that really leads to the next part of why video games aren't as fun to me. It's because it's harder to play video games socially as you get older. Sure, you can join Discord servers or find friends on Reddit, but we all know the cliche story. That one childhood friend who hasn't been online in 10 years. And when was the last time you hopped into a game chat just to talk to people? It's not as common anymore. For me, this has been huge. I've had a lot more videos on this channel than you'll ever actually see, because I plan on keeping them private. They're memories I made with my childhood and high school friends. I'm not ashamed of them, I just want to keep them for a smaller audience, my close friends, because that's who I made them for in the first place. Most of those friends, they're still in my life, and some of you might even be watching this video right now. We may not talk a lot, but I know that I could reach out if I ever needed something. But I personally feel like that era of playing games with my friends every single night, even on the weekends, has come to a close. It's not that we dislike each other, it's not that there's any problems, it's just life. We all grew up, got busy, moved into different chapters, and that's okay, because that's what you're supposed to do. But I think what's really happening with my hobby and with gaming for me is that I'm trying to hold on to these pieces of my childhood and teenage years. It's not really about the video games themselves, it's about life changing, and gaming being the place where I notice it the most. I mean, this is a lifelong hobby. If you've loved gaming for decades like I have, you start to notice when that love is shifting. I'm sure most of you watching can relate to this because it can happen with anything. Music, sports, any hobby that you hold on to, this can happen with. But for me personally, it's with video games. They've started to feel boring and repetitive, and sometimes even annoying. So what's the solution? Honestly, I don't know that there is one. But I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm turning this hobby into something creative. I want this to feel rewarding again. So this is it for me. So welcome to the channel. My name's Late Night Shrimp, I'm your host, and I'm very glad you're here. I'm going to be making these videos no matter how many people watch because I want to remember how video games feel at every stage of life. Right now, I'm trying to turn gaming into something creative. Because maybe the way to find the spark again is to make it myself. So if you've ever stared at your game library too and felt nothing, you're not alone. This channel is my way of figuring that out. And my goal is to land somewhere between a classic gaming content creator and a thought-provoking talk show host. So we're going to have a good mix of gameplay, nostalgia, and just general conversations about deep topics in life. I'm 25, very soon to be 26, and I've learned that time slows down for no one. So one day, I want to look back at this video as the real start from my journey, creation-wise. So if any of the stuff I talked about sounds familiar, subscribe. Let's hang out and see where the journey takes us together. And if you have anything to add to everything I said, feel free. I want to hear back from you on this. I know I'm not the only one that thinks about these things. Regardless though, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I really hope I'll see you in the next one. As always, thanks for watching.